So you've met your parts. You are no stranger to the inner work. You know you're perfectionist, you're people pleaser, you're overachiever, the part that shuts down or spirals when things get hard. Maybe you've even been doing parts work, or perhaps you're hearing about IFS from a friend, a coach, or just a calling from your own inner knowing. And now the question begins to arise. So where did these parts come from? And why are they here? And what do they need from me now? Today, we are going there. I'm Andrea Tessier, Master Life Coach and IFS practitioner. And on this channel, I help conscious leaders like you deepen self-trust in yourself, reconnect with your inner wisdom, and lead from. So if you're exploring internal family systems and ready to truly understand your inner world, subscribe for more IFS insight every week. And stay with me. This work changes everything. When we are young, our authentic self is wide open. We begin from wholeness, radiance, freedom, unfiltered. We cry when we're hurt. We laugh from the belly. We speak our truth before learning to edit it. But in a world that couldn't always hold our wholeness, we learned, without realizing, to tuck parts of ourselves away. Maybe tears weren't welcome. Maybe joy was too much. Maybe our sensitivity or boldness or chaos met disapproval or shame. So what happened? Parts come online. A manager part steps in to keep things under control and stay ahead. A people pleaser part learns to smile even when it hurts. A performer starts entertaining and making people laugh to feel safe. Then a firefighter rushes in to numb the pain or silence the overwhelm when it all becomes too much. But deep inside, those raw, unguarded feelings are exiles, or the inner child get locked away for safekeeping. And this is how parts come online. Not because we're flawed, but actually because we're brilliantly adaptive. However, those very strategies that once helped us survive or cope can eventually disconnect us from our true selves, because we start to confuse performance with worthiness. We chase approval instead of peace. We stay busy. We overthink. We hide, not realizing our system is trying to keep us safe. But the self, the essence of us that was never wounded, always whole, gets buried under the rubble of survival. So in internal family systems, we're not trying to fix these parts. We're learning to befriend them. We're coming into right relationship with them. So we can say, of course, this happened. Let's meet the ones who made it through. Let's listen. Let's honor. Let's remember who we really are. And when we do this with compassion and curiosity, something really powerful happens. Parts soften, they relax, they unblend, and they integrate. Suddenly, that inner chaos allows space for clarity, and you begin to lead yourself and your life, not from reactions or autopilots, but from our capital S self. So when we get stuck in familiar patterns like we all do, procrastination, overthinking, people pleasing, there's always a part behind the pattern, working hard to keep us safe. Again, these are not flaws, they are protectors, and each one has a story. So let's name a few. Procrastination often comes from a perfectionistic manager trying to avoid failure or hiding a fearful exile underneath who's terrified of being shamed or judged. This protector steps in to delay, hoping to avoid that pain altogether. People pleasing is a pattern typically driven by a pleaser part or an approval seeker that learned love and safety were earned by being good, agreeable, or putting others first. So this part is terrified of being rejected or abandoned and doing anything outside the box that might warrant that. Overthinking could be a strategizer or an inner critic trying to analyze everything to avoid making a mistake. These parts believe that if they think it through one more time, even really harshly, you'll finally be safe. The analysis paralysis pattern comes from an analyzer part who believes that the solution is always in more research, more information, more mental preparation of every possible outcome. This part fears moving forward without certainty. Hyperproductivity or overfunctioning is usually driven by manager parts or achiever parts that believe your worth is based on what you do, not who you. It tries to keep you moving to avoid the discomfort of stillness. Then there's parts that are obsessed with self-development, stemming from inner fixers or up-levelers who truly want you to grow, but deep down have learned to believe that you are never enough exactly as you. And so it keeps pushing because it believes there is always something else to heal or optimize or master. And then the parts we love to hate, indecision and self-doubt, usually signal polarized protectors, parts that disagree on what is actually safe. One part wants you to leap, the other wants you to stay small and safe. Inner conflict keeps you frozen. So we need to normalize these patterns. As somebody who sees this every darn day, I can say honestly, they are not flaws. They are protectors, each with their own story, each doing their best, each actually ready to trust when self-energy is present. So now that you understand where your parts come from, the next question becomes, how do you begin to integrate them? How do we reconcile? Well, IFS is the method. Self-energy is the medicine. IFS gives us practical and spiritual path, a way for the heart and mind to speak again, a way to see our triggers not as problems, but as portals, a way to lead our lives the inside out. Because when self is in the lead, everything changes. Not instantly, not perfectly, but profoundly. And that's the beginning of liberation, what I call liberated leadership. And so how do you do this? How do you move from survival to sovereignty, from fragmentation to wholeness? Well, I made a video just for that. It's called Self-Energy 101, what it is and how to cultivate it. You'll learn how to access your own inner leadership, that healing force inside of you. And if you want to experience self-energy right now, try my 10-minute Awaken Self-Energy meditation. It's short, it's simple, it shifts everything. Both links are in the description. So drop a comment and share which part of you felt mostly seen today. And then please like this video, share it with a friend who's exploring internal family systems, and please subscribe for more IFS insights every week. This work is sacred. Thank you for walking it with me.